Hey there, bestie. I'm Lori Me, your What to Read Next podcast host. Join me as we dive into exciting new reads that'll have you reaching for your TBR pile in no time. From urban mysteries to spicy romances, we'll explore it all and help you find your next favorite book. So grab a cup of tea, cozy it up, and let's discover some amazing reads together. Welcome to the What to Read Next podcast. I am so excited to have you back. I am on a mission to show you how to build your book collection, whether it's ebooks, physical, or audiobooks on a budget. And today's guest is ready to tell us how we can have physical books on a budget. And that's Grant Singleton, the CEO of Pango Books. If you don't know what Pango Book is, I'm here to tell you all about it. Pango Books is a book-selling app similar to Mercari Poshmark, where you can just sell your books by setting up your own bookstore. And it's a simple process. You post a picture, you scan the barcode, and you set a price and for others to purchase your book easily. It allows you to set up discounts, free shipping. It allows you to choose different promotions to get your books more so easily. And as a buyer, it's an easy way to find books that are recently released that other people are like, I love it, but I didn't love it. And I just want to pass it along. It's a great way to help the environment because you're buying used things that could have gone to the trash. So this is a great opportunity. It's a win-win situation. So in this episode, Grant shared his story from his roots in Texas, his time in the Navy, to start Pango Books. We also chat about the future of Pango Books, which includes supporting independent bookstores and expanding internationally. Yes, there are plans to expand to Canada and to other territories. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We're just going to get to the interview. If you would like to have more details and tips and tricks about Pango Books from selling to buying, please check out What to Read Next blog/Pango, and you'll find all the information there. All right, let's get to the interview. Hi, Grant. Welcome to What to Read Next podcast.
Hi, Laura. Thanks so much for having me on. Thrilled to be here.
So happy to have you on. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Gosh, well, I'm Grant, probably most formally known as the founder and CEO of Pango Books, which is a marketplace for books, and really fitting with this podcast for sure. But I was born in Texas, grew up in the South, spent some time in the military. I spent 4 years in the Navy overseas on an aircraft carrier. A lot of stories there. It's a crazy living environment. If anybody out there has been in the Navy, they'll understand that. And then got a degree from Texas A&M, started Pango. Now I've got actually 4 kids under 6 years old, so I'm also incredibly busy, not just in business, but also in my personal life. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
So did you go to the College Station campus and at the main campus?
Yes. I was
summer there.
Okay, yes. I spent 5 whole years. It took me 5 years to get a degree in engineering. But yeah, I love it. I miss it.
Yeah, I spent the summer working in orientation, which is like a big process of indoctrinating you into the culture of being an Aggie and all the songs and the stuff and the specifics. So it was about 20 years ago. So it was a fun summer. I was a liberal coming from New York, and I was like, oh, I'm not in Kansas anymore.
Yes. The traditions at A&M, there's so many. A lot of them are really weird, but it's definitely hardcore. And if there's any Aggies out there, gig them.
It is hardcore, but yeah, it is definitely was fun. It was a fun summer. Hot, but it was fun.
Yeah. Well, and the heat is why I don't live there anymore. I moved to Nashville.
Yeah.
Just to be a little far. I didn't want to be as far south. It's so hot. I mean, only in middle Texas is there less people outside in the middle of summer than there is the middle of winter, just because the heat is so bad.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's wild. So, okay. So let's chat about Pango Books. First of all, what is Pango Books and what can our readers expect from visiting Pango Books?
Yeah. So Pango Books is a marketplace for books. So think if you're looking to get like amazing deals on books, it's the place to buy them. 100% of the inventory is used. People list new books, but we don't actually sell anything except for if we're selling individuals. So 100% of the books are made up by people like you, people like me, just grabbing books off their bookshelves, taking a picture, listing them. That's 100% of the inventory. And the average person has over 100 books, physical books on their bookshelf. And somebody like you is going to have a lot more. But there's a lot of books out there that sit on shelves forever. And so I really came up with this idea as a way to get those books flowing to other readers. And there's a huge passion around books, and like my love for books started with the ability that a book has to influence you. So I think the right book can change your life, fiction or nonfiction. It can open up your mind to creativity. It's so different than film, digital content. A book can take you on a journey and change your life. And so I thought, wow, like that is such a powerful thing. I wanted to build a business around that, and had a lot of ideas for like building a better Goodreads. But I really just settled on this marketplace idea because nobody was doing a really good job of helping your everyday reader just exchange books with each other. So that's what Pango Books is. It's a place to buy and sell your books. If you have a ton of books like you do, you can list them real easy. We take care of the entire shipping process. So like when I sell a book, I don't even leave my house. I just drop it off put it in a mailer and drop it off in my mail box with the flag up, and USPS picks it up. We manage the whole shipping flow. We take all the pain out of it so that selling something like a $6 book is like easy enough to make it worth it. That's really the goal. And then obviously being able to turn around and buy another book from somebody else. And you can also like the thing that gets me most excited about Pango and about what we're building is the connection with other people. Like I hear about it all the time, people actually making friends. And like a good way to know about somebody is just look at somebody's bookshelf on Pango. You see what they're listing, what they probably like reading, and you can connect with somebody through that, and then also grab a book off their bookshelf. So yeah, that's a long explanation of what Pango is.
It is. And I will tell you, as a person who has sold books and have bought books, it's as a person who's trying to sell some books offload, the books that you're like, okay, I read it once, I don't want to read this again. It's super easy to do. It's just take a picture of the barcode, it'll populate the information, you set the price, and then when the sale is made, you just get a link to print out the shipping, and that's it. You don't need to figure out the cost of shipping. You don't need to figure out the specifics. It's just it's a seamless process, and it's like it makes it easier, because what was happening before Pango was there were Facebook groups, and you're like putting like stacks of books, and you're like, pick these, and then you just have to get a kitchen scale, weigh the books, try to find PayPal, see if you can do that's media mail, and then or go to the post office and go, because I normally would have gone to the post office with like 5-10 packages that I had to calculate there, and it's like hours. It saves hours of time.
Yeah, that's true. You made me laugh with the Facebook group thing, because that's still like if you go on the Facebook marketplace, it's stacks and stacks and stacks of books. And that was something that was hard for us, because like everybody's tendency was to list like 100% of their books in one listing. And so we tried really hard to break it up into single books so that the buyer can pick and choose off of your bookshelf and kind of create their own stack and own bundle. But yeah, it's funny. I see all those listings with like 50 books, and they weigh like 50 pounds. Shipping that is not easy.
Shipping is not easy. In terms of community aspect, like as you mentioned a little bit about like creating a product and finding this marketplace as product, but thinking about Goodreads and all the other areas as a reader, how do you see Pango becoming kind of like a go-to place for our readers to connect with others, but also discover new reads and discover new ways?
Yeah. Your question actually defines our pursuit, really. And I'd say like that, a lot of those things you just said are our focus for the next year. And it really speaks to my passion, because that's really what I want to see. Like I want to build a community where bookish people are making friends and actually sharing ideas, and for books, book recommendations, leaving book reviews, all of that. We've spent most of the time building like a good e-commerce foundation. And so that's what you see now. We do have some social things on there. Like we have threads where you can actually start a discussion. It's a little complicated to combine a marketplace with a social environment, I've found, just because it's like two different motives. Am I there to make friends and get a book recommendation, or am I there to like sell and get a good deal. So they can kind of be at odds. And I think finding how they mesh together really well is really the challenge. But I think it starts with like just a good place where people feel like Pango is an extension of themselves. And so I know like with the book talk community, the bookstagram community, all the bookish people on Instagram, creating an environment where it feels like home. And that's what we've done with like making your own bookshelf, where you feel like you kind of have ownership over your own bookshelf, your own expression of yourself on the app. I think we've done a good job on that. But something we want to do a lot better at is really just getting our Pangoers to leave reviews and recommend books to others. So just using the over 250,000 people that use Pango Books and using like them as a wonderful resource to share book recommendations with others. Some of that is going to be stuff you see on Instagram where you actually have like videos and people can leave video recommendations. That's something we're really excited about. Live sales where you can actually have a video and sell stuff live without having, there's a lot of apps that do that. We're looking at doing that. And then also just finding a way to get people talking more beyond like just messaging and leaving threads, but actually connecting people based on their interests. And that's a hard thing too, because with books are so widely categorized and it's not even the same. Like there's so many different ways, so many different buckets a single book can fit into. So categorizing them can be hard. We've really tried to use tags for that. But yeah, our goals really in the coming year are to allow the voice of our users to be louder rather than behind the scenes algorithms or things like that. But we do want to become the place where you can go on to not only find a good deal, but find a new book that you're interested in. And we're doing some stuff. There's some stuff in the works with machine learning and other things that are over my head. But essentially that's the goal, that when you open the app, you can find something that you've never heard of before, and that you also have a like high probability of being interested in. That's kind of our holy grail and what we've been brainstorming on lately.
That sounds really exciting. That sounds really good. And I want to preface this and to readers who may want to have a store but they may not be available at all times. You can put the store on pause. There's also that feature. So if that's a barrier of entry that you're like, I'm not going to be able to maintain it a whole year around, like there's features that allow you to put it on pause and to just restart it and just same time for reviews and like buy some books too.
Yeah, and one thing that people don't know as well, it's like kind of not a hidden feature, but not as obvious, is like shopping from a single seller. You can get like way better deals that way because you get one shipping cost since it's shipping from one location. So that's something that I always encourage people to do is find a person on Pango that they're interested in that sells a lot of books and kind of make that their go-to place. We've had the follow feature for that where you can follow somebody. But yes, you can definitely put your shop on hold. It's funny what are the barriers to entry for people, and it's like I'm traveling, I'm not available, but yeah, you can put your shop on hold.
Yeah, and yeah, I'll at the end of the episode I'll share a couple of stores that have plenty of inventory. What do you hope, like you mentioned what you hope in the next year to do for Pango Books, but what do you see Pango Books in the future? Like 5-10 years?
Yeah, gosh. Sometimes it's so hard to look that far into the future. It's like I get so consumed with the now. But yes, there's a huge vision for the future. And number one is we want to bring Pango Books to our Canadian readers. That's the most requested, probably the most requested thing is to bring Pango Books to Canada. We have so many Canadian fans, awesome people there. And so we'd like to go international right now. Like we're just in the United States. We'd love to go to the UK. We'd love to go to Canada. We'd love to go to a lot of different places. It's challenging though, because shipping costs explode when you talk about international shipping. So what we want to do is create its own ecosystem in every country that we go to. So when we go to Canada, it's kind of got to stand on its own legs and have shipping within Canada and not necessarily from the US to Canada unless it's a rare special edition, high cost book that's worth the shipping. So, going international and really connecting the world through books, because that's kind of our mission. That is our mission statement, is connecting the world through books. Right now, we're just doing it in the United States. So that would be one. Number two, something we've played around with, and I don't know if I should be saying it on here. This is really a back in the kitchen discussion, but something we've been really playing around with is how independent bookstores can fit into the Pango Books ecosystem. So there's a huge movement to save independent bookstores. A lot of independent bookstores struggle with how easy it is to buy, like from Amazon, and so bringing on independent bookstores and local delivery. So instead of here's like a world where in 5 years Pango will be. Instead of buying something on Amazon and getting next day or 2 day shipping, being able to buy a new book from a local bookstore around you and get same hour delivery with DoorDash or one of the same hour delivery, like Uber Eats. Yeah, there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most exciting thing to me, to think about actually beating Amazon on delivery speed, also helping independent bookstores. And then when you're wanting to pick up a new book, you're getting it local and feeling good about it. So local delivery is something that's really exciting as well. And then the last thing that I think we could see in the next 5 to 10 years is a way for independent authors. It doesn't have to be independent authors. Those are the ones that pull at my heartstrings, because there's a huge movement in that direction. A lot of people have amazing content that they're writing and don't get a publishing deal, or maybe they feel like their publishing deal is not favorable to them and they want to be independent. And so opening up the Pango Books community to independent sellers and allowing them to really make a name and build a brand, selling directly to their readers through Pango Books. So an example would be you write a book, you want to launch it on Pango. We advertise it for you. You do a virtual book signing event where you have this a little a video call with all your fans and sign their book right in front of them, and then drop it in the mail and send it to them. So we want to do a lot of things like that. Obviously, that would bring us into the new book category too, which is of course where we want to go. But right now, that's a long way off from just the peer-to-peer environment that we are now, and that's really our bones, and I think always will be the core of what we do. But yeah, I think some of those verticals and horizontals that we just talked about are things that really excite me, that are definitely coming.
These are very exciting things. I think Canada is going to be a big one. It's a big market, and it's exciting to beat Amazon in their own game. It's you're beating Amazon
faster than Amazon, yeah.
But you're even giving them you're helping other people. You're flowing the information. You're not books are not going to waste. They're moving around after they're being read, so they're having a life on its own after to somebody else who's going to discover. And who knows, they may just go back to Pango and do the same thing and over. So it's not like a one and done.
A statistic I heard recently, and I don't know if it's in the US or in the world, let's just say US, and maybe it's the whole world. Over 300 million pounds of books are thrown into the dump every year. So that's something I like to tell people, because whenever you reuse and re-commerce, resale, you're helping a book have another life. You're literally saving books from the dumpster.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. If you're a book lover, you know why that's exciting. If you're not a book lover, maybe not. But yeah, that's an interesting fact.
That's a really interesting fact. And so you have a place, you have a resource that's easy to use. It's not a headache. You can actually do it with your phone. You can take pictures, no professional camera needed. Just scan it, sell it, and just move along and have the book have a life of its own to somebody else. Tell us where we can get Pango Books. Is it an app? How do we get it? We've been talking about it, but now we're ready to be okay, let's download it and let's get this started.
So I recommend everybody to use the app. We do have a website, but it's not an afterthought, but it's the app is the main focus of our development team. We put the most work into it. It's actually the only way you can sell. So you can buy on the website, but to sell, you need the app. So you can get the app by searching for Pango Books on iOS or Android app stores, and you should see it right away. And yeah, you can download it. You can set up your own shop in literally 30 seconds. You could download it and have a book for sale in as little as 30 seconds. Like, time yourself and tell me if I'm wrong, because it's really that easy. So at least check it out. And if you're not interested in selling, definitely, we have a ton of sellers offering amazing discounts. You'll see that on the homepage. So you'll see some offering like as much as $10+ off bundle orders. So you can get books for an even better deal than otherwise on Pango today. So
You should be on the lookout for deals, because like a lot of sellers are reluctant to, like, they need to make some room for space, so they might put offload it. So again, try to find those sellers who have 100+ books and buy from that one seller. Like, go wild on their bookshelf.
Yeah. And it'll make their day. It'll make somebody's day too. It's also a good way to feel good about your purchase. Amazon will not notice when you buy something from them. No, but everything you buy on Pango, somebody's going to notice, and you're going to make somebody's day.
Yeah. So thank you, Grant, for being on the show.
It's been awesome. It's been great to meet you.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of the What to Read Next podcast. If you enjoy our bookish conversations and want more recommendations, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, head on over to the What to Read Next blog for a list of books mentioned in today's show. Happy reading!